and welcome to the next installment of Writing Promptly. I have a new website pulled up. I'm going to try to do a different generator website each time, although I'm probably going to end up doubling back to the ones that I like. So today I have a website up called very uniquely Creative Writing Prompts. But I kind of like it from what I've seen so far. This time I'm going to just jump cut to the camera changes rather than making you sit through the movement of the camera. So hold on, and we're going to jump cut to my computer screen so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so again, I'm not quite sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but so what I'm going to do is if you hover over a number, it gives you a prompt. I've hovered over the first one, so we're not going to do this one. I'm just going to scroll down and just pick a random one, and I promise I haven't looked ahead to a peep. So let's see. Create a story or poem inspired by a line in a David Lehman poem. Death was last seen in the auction room looking worried. Oh dear. Well, I'll give it a go. So hold on, I'm going to jump cut to the camera overlooking my lovely writing station, and we'll get going on this. Alright, so here we go. The 10-minute countdown starts now. It's time. I had to use the full 10 minutes. So this is not going to be a very pretty story because I have no editing time. But we're going to jump cut to my camera in its normal place, and I will read it, for better or for worse. Okay, so just as a reminder, the prompt again was create a story or poem inspired by a line in a David Lehman poem. Death was last seen in the auction room looking worried. I've never heard of this guy before. I'm going to look him up, but I definitely wrote a story and not a poem. That is not my forte. And just as a reminder, since this was written in 10 minutes time with no editing at all, it is not supposed to be good. Here we go. Did I miss anything? Death asked as she sat down between death and death. No, not yet. The auction hasn't started, whispered the death to her left into her ear. Oh good, I thought I was going to miss it again this time. I got stuck with the worst death buy last time because I was so late. You need to learn to budget your time better, the death to her right said, his supercilious tone making her roll her eyes. We literally have all the time in the world. We only have to be anywhere once a decade. That's a little hard to remember sometimes. To be fair to Death, said a death to her left. We're Death. Death remembers everything. Death bit back a groan, and instead focused her attention to the front of the room. Attention, attention, the death at the front of the room shouted, banging the head of a femur onto the crown of a skull, the knocking noise ringing through the room. We're about to begin today's proceedings. We need to make this quick. The longer we take, the more people avoid us, and that's not so pleasant for some of our lambs out there. He's not lying, the death to her right said, nodding. I was death by fire this decade. Nasty business, that is. Death shuddered. Not my favorite assignment, she said. I knew the death that had that one during the height of the witch trials. I never had that one before, the death to her left said. Never been my cup of blood to try for it. I think all who wanted to try it have gone through it. It's at the end of the conference today, along with the death by accident due to cell phone use. The death to her right snorted. That one's more like death by stupidity. True, but it was such a big category that it was broken off 20 years ago by foresight. The death to her left said. I know that. I was there. And so we begin, said the death at the front of the room. Death sat forward, nervously clicking her teeth together. She didn't want to be outbid for death by plague again this time. She was long overdue for a vacation. I wish I had longer than 10 minutes on that, because I actually kind of like the idea, although all the deaths were getting a little bit confusing, I think, but I suppose we'll see what you think. And that is going to be it for this installment of Writing Promptly. Until next time.